Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, everybody. I hear the cheer. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day for those celebrate Memorial Day. Hope you had a good day off if you are working and have the day off. You may notice, maybe not, but my camera is broken. I'm having some technical difficulties with some connection stuff. Some of my hardware is giving me some trouble, which is always fun. It's kind of what I do. I try to fix things that are always breaking. I wish they would work when I want them to work, but I am using my webcam right now, and my DSLR is getting fixed by Canon. It was going in and out of connection, so it wasn't staying on the HDMI. Despite any cable that I used, it just wouldn't. The connection was loose, so it just kept going out on me. So that was kind of frustrating, but I was able to send it in. So I'm now just down to the one webcam. I can use my phone, but I don't usually like the look of the phone for live streaming. So yeah, so that's that. I used to love this camera. It's the Logitech 4K Brio, and after using a DSLR as your webcam, when you go back to a webcam, it suddenly doesn't look so good. It's very stuttery and kind of it feels like a webcam to me, quite honestly, versus a DSLR. Yeah, so I'm dealing with that. So tonight's probably going to be a little bit short, not short, but definitely probably under an hour. And next week, for those, I do every Monday night I'm doing a live stream where I'm teaching one topic or talking about one topic in specific. So I do hope you join me every Monday night. If you are joining live, welcome. If you are watching the replay, thank you for watching. I know that it's been I feel like the replays are getting watched. I'm not getting a big live presence, so I'm gonna probably start experimenting with some more times. I've said that a few times, but I want to give it enough, time to kick in. And I'm basically going to do next week. What I was going to say is next Monday I will be out of town, so I will not be doing it next Monday. But I try to post everything in the community channel. So if you're new to my channel, take a look in the community tab. That's where I'll typically post questions or, share any updates. I'll usually do that inside of the community tab. So if I'm not going to be doing a live stream, then that is where that will go. And hopefully I'm seeing a big delay on my end. Hopefully it's not translating. Let me see if I can fix something here. Let's see if I can make any difference. That made it worse on my end, so that's no good. But let's just see what we got here. I don't know if that helped. That didn't seem to help me, what I'm looking at, but hopefully it's not. I'm having a delay from me to the camera itself on my monitor, which is making me think it's probably even worse going to YouTube. So anyways, 1 week of the webcam, even the whole look, it looks like kind of wide. I look in my view, I look like it's almost got kind of that wide angle look, but oh well. Tonight I'm going to go over I thought what I would do, I have a whole bunch of videos to edit, So I thought what I would do is see if this translated where I would just go through and edit on Screenflow. I'll probably be quiet for a lot of it. I think I'm just going to, I thought this would be kind of interesting at first. When I first started thinking about what I would do on the live streams is do sort of like, there's a lot of like study with me type videos where people just get work done. So I thought I would do kind of an edit with me, and where I would just, kind of go through and edit the way I normally would in Screenflow, and maybe talk a little bit while I'm, if something comes up where I think is good. But for the most part, I think I'm just going to go through and do some editing, how I would do it, and you can just sort of watch it in action. And the reason that I want to do it a little bit more like a versus a play-by-play type thing is so you can get a little bit of like the real-time momentum of what I do, and not just me, but probably how a lot of people edit their videos, to where the speed, the kind of the flow that I get into when I edit. And I think when everybody, if you get into a system where you're making videos over and over again, you probably develop your own style of editing. You probably shoot. I know I shoot everything for my style. I think that's very common. So when the helpful thing is, if you're just getting started in creating content, is when you start developing your own style, that's when you really start speeding up your workflow. And it starts to become second nature. When I record a tutorial now, like when it's recorded, I almost think the video is over in my eyes, because the editing part, is so easy for me because I've developed a system. Whereas when I first started, it took me hours and hours to make one video. And now I can just whip right through it. So so I thought I would just do an edit on a video. Hopefully it's not super distracting. I'm going to turn down the volume a little bit on the audio, or on what you're going to hear out of Screenflow, because I think it's going to get distracting if you hear scrubbing audio. So and then what I would do, and I've been doing this for a couple of weeks in a row, but I'll continue again. I thought that I would just remind everybody, if you are, I don't know if you're new to me, if you're curious about what I use for live streaming, I don't use this camera, which is driving me crazy, but I do have a resource page that I've updated recently, and you can go check it out at mikemurphy.co. That's my main page, mikemurphy.co. And then if you go to the resources page in the top, it'll take you to this page here. If you click on this little button here, it'll take you to my Amazon. I have an Amazon shop where I have everything more or less listed here. All the major gear that I use. I have a bunch of books that I like. Some of my studio gear, the peripheral stuff, and the things that I have on my desk and around. Cameras and lighting. Cables. Want to know what cables I use? Lately I have like 500 more because I've been troubleshooting. Clothing I think is super outdated. I think I have to update that soon. I didn't realize that was still there. But so that's on the resources page. I try to keep, I will keep this very updated. These are things that I use and I like. I don't really recommend anything that I don't use or like. And if I don't like something, or if I stop using it, then I will update this page. But this is basically the resources page, things that I use for my website, for podcasting, for what I make tutorials with, the tools that I use. These are all the Adobe Creator tools, which everybody kind of knows, but productivity tools that I use, my podcasting and audio gear, which I've trimmed down massively. I used to have tons of stuff, and I've streamlined everything. Photo, video, pared all this stuff down. Cables and more. And at the bottom, you'll also see that Amazon shop, which will take you to the Amazon page. So, yeah, it's not just an affiliate thing that I'm sharing that with. It's, I think it's helpful. So, this is Screenflow. So, oops, I know what happened. See, I don't have my, let's just see here. I'll pop in that little window right now. There we go. I have my regular camera set up. Hey, Sam Neefs, how are ya? Welcome, welcome. Spread the word if you. I love to get some people on here to ask some questions. That's ultimately my goal, is to get this really a question and answer type situation. But you know, we'll see. Maybe I'll find a time that really hits people. It's not feeling as though this is hitting the best time, but we'll see. I'll give it some time. But yeah, so I thought I would go over edits now, and let's just bring up this. This gets very distracting. You can see me here in the corner, and I'm also here in the corner. I should just put myself like right there so it's not distracting. But that's always distracting when I'm doing an edit and I'm actually in the video of the edit. I'm usually wearing a similar looking shirt too. But yeah, so maybe I'll try to cover myself as best I can, but it's not really going to work all that well. Anyways, this is a video that I am working on. Which one is it? I have so many videos that I need to edit right now. I recorded a whole bunch last week. I'm trying to get a bunch. I'll be traveling pretty soon, so I won't be doing live streams the next couple, maybe 2. But I tried to record several in advance and kind of build up a little bit of a bank. But I haven't edited a lot of them. I've recorded many of them, which is the hard part for me, and even that's not that difficult anymore. I'm definitely got a little system down, but yeah, the recording part is the thing that I try to get done the most, because I record. A lot of people ask me this, how I make my tutorials, whether I script them or whether I, outline or use a teleprompter. The answer is no. Everything I teach is things that I kind of know, or the reason that I'm teaching them is because it's something that I just either learned or just used recently, to where I was like, where I think that this would be a helpful tutorial for you. So it's often things that are, as I'm working, using a program, using a tool, if I'm like, oh, this is really useful, or if I make a mental note that says, oh, that's a great shortcut, or that's a really interesting technique, or sometimes I find a bug or find a problem and I'm like, this is difficult, or this is, something not right. Well, if I find a solution while I'm doing it, like if it happens to me and then I find the solution, which I usually don't stop until I find a solution to something. When I find the solution, I create a tutorial, sometimes on the spot. I'll turn on Screenflow if there's something that I'm, that's something that's fresh, where I'm like, oh, I can capture this. Or, if if I'm literally like about to fix a problem, or if I find the solution to something, you know, before I fix it, where I know it might be like a one-time fix to where I can't, you know, recreate the problem, well, I will record the tutorial while it's still a problem and then fix it, just in case I can't, like, you know, undo the fix and show you. So yeah, so oftentimes I'll just record the video on the fly. And I say I don't script it, but I also am very meticulous about getting the words right, or, you know, being clear in what I'm teaching. So I might record the same, you know, 10-second, 20-second clip 20 times in a row until I get it exactly right, or where it sounds clear. So I'm almost writing as I record. I apologize. I have a really scratchy, it sounds like I've got like that vocal fry. I don't. Well, I'm not intentionally trying to sound like that. I just have a scratchy voice, and it's I've got some hot water here, so. But it's sort of hurting me to talk. Anyways, yeah, so that's sort of my process. Is oftentimes if I'm doing something and I have a mistake or something that comes up, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't even know I could do that, or I didn't know that was even a thing. I will just hop on Screenflow and just start recording, knowing what that tutorial, you know, I kind of think, okay, this is the tutorial. This is what it's about. This is where I'm starting. This is where I have to get to. And I just work my way from the beginning until the end. And when the end is over, I save it. And then I come back and edit. And I do that, you know, as many times as I can. If I'm ahead of the schedule, that is. Sometimes I'm making them the day before I plan the release. But anyways, we are in Screenflow. Enough rambling. We're in Screenflow. Let's see if I can pull up a timeline here. I don't know if that's going to help any. Let's see if I can get this up a little bit. If you are watching live and you have questions, you can certainly ask. As I said earlier, I'm going to probably go through and just start kind of editing these. I am going to turn down the volume. So it's not really blaring you. Let me just see. The other shape. So yeah, so I'm going to turn down the volume of Screenflow. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's see here. You're asking what purpose the Screenflow is used for, previously using Adobe softwares. Well, Mohammed, if you stick around long enough, you realize I used a little bit of everything. That's sort of my blessing and a curse, I guess, is that I do use a lot of tools. But Screenflow is what I use to make all of my tutorials. Screenflow is a screencasting or a screen recording tool primarily. You can use it as a video editor. A lot of people use Screenflow just strictly as their kind of go-to tool for making videos, whether they're recording screens or recording themselves. It's a very Catherine, I'm trying to read you well. Screenflow is the tool that I use to record my screen, and it also records, you know, webcams or audio. It's a very versatile tool. You can pretty much anything that you have as an input or an output on your computer, you can record in Screenflow. You can record multiple monitors. Yeah, so it's what I use to make all my tutorials, and I use Adobe products to do all the fun stuff, to make video, like animations, to make, fun, cool videos, not the boring, screencasts. Well, hello, Catherine. Hey, Mike, using the timestamp flags that auto set in YouTube. Sorry, I probably killed that description. Okay, I don't understand that so much. Or if you could explain that. And then I think you followed up with this. So let me see what you got. But welcome. Hello, Mohammed. Thank you. Hope you are doing well as well. I explained earlier, I'm using my webcam. My regular camera is broken. So if I'm delayed or if I'm looking kind of funky, which it feels, the monitor I'm looking at is making it look like it's a little choppy, and I apologize if that's the case. I have no camera this week, so I had to improvise on the fly. I did it in a tutorial. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. I love when, I don't think people realize how much satisfaction I get when people say that something I made helped them, or it was useful to them in some way. So that makes my day always. Thank you, Muhammad. Appreciate that. And speaking of descriptions, somebody asked me this not too long ago. But the descriptions in every tutorial that I make, probably a long time ago they were not so great, but most every tutorial in the last few years, the description more or less is like a blog post. You can really learn most everything in the tutorial in the description. They're not super detailed. Like I definitely, don't write out full, descriptions, but if you are stuck at something, take a look in the description of every video, because I typically put will put everything that I talked about, including like keyboard shortcuts or things that I think are kind of relevant in the description. I pretty much want people to be able to learn a tip in as fast of a time as possible, and also if they just want to read the information. Yes, I would like people to watch my tutorials and get the YouTube algorithm going, but I also want people to be able to get the solution they're looking for quickly. So the auto timestamp, and that's something that if you're talking about also the the little description timestamps where you click to it, that's super important right now on YouTube, and I'm doing a horrible job of putting timestamps. I justify it because my tutorials are so short, but it's no excuse, and I really should be doing that on every video, because YouTube is putting those little chapters now, which are very cool, and I love watching videos where they have those chapters, and I'm just sort of being silly myself by not including them in every video, but I am mentally ready to discipline myself into doing that. I always justify it like, well, it's a 2-minute video, it doesn't need chapters because it's so short, but they do. So the timestamps are definitely I think they help. I think YouTube likes them, and I also think that users love them. So let's just get out of here. Okay, so I am in Screenflow now, which is the tool. Again, if you missed the beginning, I thought that I was going to do kind of a like an edit with me night, and basically just kind of go through the edit of how I go through my videos. This is right now it's 3 minutes. All of my videos, I try to get under 3 minutes. That's sort of my signature. When I first started, my first year or so, everything was under 1 minute. And that's much harder than people realize, is to get a video under 1 minute and actually teach something. And when I listen to the old ones, because a lot of people comment that they're so fast, and they were fast. 3 minutes is fast for some people, but, 3 minutes is sort of my sweet spot. I will go over 3 minutes. I have one coming up that I think is about 3.5 or 4. I'm a firm believer in podcasting and writing and tutorial making. The video should be as long as it needs to be, or the podcast as long as it needs to be, and not any longer. So if you need to say something that takes you 25 minutes, then that's the right time. There isn't a perfect time, but if you're just saying things to try to fill in a certain time frame, or if you're just not saying anything that's important or relevant, then it's wasting, I think, the audience's time. So with my videos, I do try to, I have a set time, not a set time, but I have kind of a standard that I like to sort of try to get to. But if I'm teaching something, and if 3 minutes was not long enough to teach the entire thing and I need to go 3.5, well, then I'll go 3.5. But when I do edit, which I'm about to do, when I edit, if there is anything in my video, anything on the timeline that I don't think is necessary, it gets cut. Even if it's something that's kind of good, or something that's interesting, or something that might even help, or not help, but might even, be useful for something else. If it's not relevant to this video and this topic, or it's not necessary, I cut it. So, that's my philosophy, and I know I get probably the most comments about people who are happy that that most of the videos are to the point, or they're not filled with unnecessary banter like I'm doing now. I save all my banter and wasted breath for Monday nights. I don't get to do that very much, so so what I do, I start at the beginning and I go to the end, and I literally just chop. I listen, and I start to edit the video itself as I'm working, listening, and as I go through. Let me just zoom out of here a little bit where I lost my cursor. Let me zoom into so you can see. I will go through my timeline. I'll scrub through, and I will edit the video itself. I might zoom into up here. I might do whatever the video needs. I'm going to do that to guide the user, the viewer, guide you into the tutorial. So I have a visually saying, okay, I'm looking at somebody looking at their phone. They're looking at their phone. Maybe they're this way watching the tutorial. And I'm saying, if they're just sitting on their couch watching the tutorial at their desk, they might be on their desktop, that's okay. Will they be able to understand what I'm trying to teach in this tutorial by watching the video? And I try to make it as easy as possible by me guiding them through the place on the screen, where to look, what to focus on, because I don't think people have the attention anymore. People are multitasking. People are doing multiple things. So I'm trying to make it as the way that I want to watch the tutorial. I don't want to have to work hard at it. I want the tutorial to teach me what I came to teach, and I don't want to feel like it was too hard. So anyways, so that's enough of the banter. I'm going to just start editing. So here we go. Hi folks, it's Mike Murphy, and today's quick tip is in Adobe After Effects CC 2022. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create shapes from text. Okay, so this tutorial is about shapes from text. And if you're... I'm giving away the secret, or I'm giving away this tutorial, so if you are going to watch this tutorial later on, you're going to know the answer already. So consider yourself... kind of got a sneak peek. Oh, shoot. Shoot. I gotta fix something here. Oh, well. I think I'm gonna do this later. I normally put a thumbnail in the beginning, and I'm gonna kind of do this too. I'm gonna skip this part right now, so. Hi folks, it's Mike Murphy, and today's quick tip is in Adobe After Effects CC 2022. In this tutorial, so what I might do, so I'm gonna, in this tutorial, CC 2022. In this tutorial, I'm gonna do this. So here's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to zoom in. So one thing you're seeing, that's me over there in the corner. So the voice that you're hearing is actually right here. But I put myself for tonight over it so it's not super distracting, if you're wondering where that voice is coming from. Hi folks, it's Mike Murphy, and today's quick tip is in Adobe After Effects CC 2022. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create shapes from text. This will convert your text. Oops. Okay, I'm going to bring this one up. Into shape outlines, so you can animate individual letters or characters just like you would any other shape. So here I have a basic. So I'm going to come down here. So here I have a basic text layer. Okay, so and again, earlier I was trying to explain what I was doing tonight, but I'm going to do kind of a edit with me type thing. So I'm not going to go crazy in the commentary in terms of giving you every detail of what I'm doing, because I wanted it to be a little more not realistic, but like I wanted you to see a little bit of how I approach things in a more like natural way. So but I do want to give some context, helping you if you are kind of in the content creation mode, or kind of starting out. The guiding the listener or the viewer and making it easy for them to follow along is key for me, and it's very tricky when you're using a program. I need to show something down here. I need to show something down the left of the screen and in the top right. So I have these two places that their eyes have to go. They can't go into both. So it's my job, and it comes with some trickery in the edit of how to make it so they can see both. And they can't always. But as I keep advancing in my tutorial making, I'm finding new ways to try to do that. So I'll show you what I mean. Uh-oh. I got quiet. And I think I just broke Screenflow. I'm not hearing anything. I'm going to have to close her down. This is the the curse of live streaming and Screenflow at the same time. Let me pull this up. Oh, Screenflow. Individual. Okay, so that worked. And Genie. I'm delicate. I'm not entirely sure what that means in context, or but thank you. I think it's a nice thing. I mean, I know what delicate means, but I'm not sure how I'm delicate. But welcome, hello, thank you for the kind words, everybody. And if there's questions that pop up, even if they're not totally related, I'd much rather just ask questions. Or answer anybody's questions, so I don't want you to feel like you're stuck if you don't care about Screenflow. It seems to be when I do a Screenflow tutorial, people want After Effects. When I do After Effects, they want Screenflow. So if you have questions about anything, fire away. But I will go back to editing. This will convert your text into shape outlines, so you can animate individual letters or characters just like you would any other shape. So here I have a basic text layer. Okay, so what I need to do, this is trickery. So what I'm going to do is make, this is my secret sauce, and if you watch my class coming up on Screenflow, you'll learn this. And again, if you're not seeing me, I'm hiding myself right here behind, but that's just because I don't want it to be distracting I'm right here tonight, and not tonight, I'm below. But what I'm trying to do is make this bottom layer down here visible so it's clear, and also make the top layer. So this is what people need to see, that Mike Murphy, but they also need to see down here. So the way I just reposition the windows, now it's easy for people to be able to see both things versus seeing, you know, the entire the whole picture scene. So I'm kind of chopping up After Effects. I'm in After Effects. This tutorial is about After Effects. So there's different, you know, parts of After Effects. So I'm trying to, you know, make it clear on the tutorial. So here I have a basic text layer. This is editable text. And now this is going to go on. So I'm going to copy the properties from before. To convert a text layer to shapes, all you have to do is select the text layer. So now I really want people to really see this. So I'm going to probably do this. I think this is really going to be hard to edit, but we'll see. What you do is select the text layer. You can come up to the, that didn't work. Top menu, go to layer. Ooh, this is very tricky. Let me do this. It's getting ugly, I can tell. To convert a text layer to shapes, all you have to do is select the text layer. You can come up to the top menu, go layer. You can come up to the top menu, go to layer, create shapes from text, or just right click. When I'm quiet, that just means that I'm Sparrow. So welcome, Sparrow. Where are we right now? Yeah, I knew this would get a little confusing. What I'm doing is doing a live edit, more or less, of I am in Screenflow, and I am teaching. The tutorial is an upcoming tutorial on let me just zoom out a little bit. I don't know if that's going to... Yeah, so I am in Screenflow, and I am doing a... no, it's not... There it is. So I'm doing a full edit of a video that's going to publish soon. And the video is on Adobe After Effects. And Adobe After Effects is the tool that I use quite a bit for motion graphics and just all the fun stuff that you can make. But yeah, so Screenflow is the program that I'm in right now, doing my edit. That's where I make all my tutorials, or I do all the edits in Screenflow. And I knew it was going to be a little bit difficult being able to do the live edit and try to explain what I'm doing, the process, because a lot of it is very, it's almost like I'm playing a game with myself, trying to get the tutorial. I chop it up in a way that I'm trying to get all the pieces of the puzzle, so it's easy to talk about, easy to show, and I move really quickly in my tutorials, so the screen is usually not in the same place for very long. So I try to get it in a very kind of a quick pace, but also conscious that if it's too fast, people won't understand it. So this is a delicate game that I play. We'll go back to delicate, as Jeannie said. But yeah, so I'm trying to basically chop it up in Screenflow to make the tutorial easy to watch, or useful, or helpful. So we'll go back into the timeline view. So this is basically, if you are a Screenflow user, if you are a Screenflow user, a little kind of inside scoop of how I do things a lot of times is I will I make copies of the same clips, and I chop those up into basically into parts on the screen to where I can move things around, so it's kind of an illusion of what you're seeing. And I use the copies to to make it so you can see, so viewers can see the parts that I want to do, but it makes it look as though they're still in the main program. So I don't want people to lose sight of where they are. Like you can see here, this is what you're looking at right now is all of After Effects. So it's very important to me that people don't get lost in, a real small corner. If they're like, I don't even know where you are on the screen, how am I supposed to follow along? So that to me is the thing that I'm always trying to balance, because I teach with a beginner mindset. I teach with assuming that even if people are kind of advanced in their stuff, I'm teaching in a way that people are, you can be the very first day that you've ever been on a computer to somebody who's experienced, and I'm trying to capture that simplicity for any level. But I also don't want to be sure thing, Sparrow. Let me know what you have in mind. And then, yeah, so we're, I don't know if that's still on there. So yeah, so that's what you're looking at now is After Effects. And I am going to go back into the timeline here. So this is my timeline view. And yeah, so I pretty much go down the timeline looking at following the tutorial and trying to match the clips so it's visible. I mean, I could, kind of take the easy way out and, zoom way out and just kind of, which I think I probably did when I first started, and just, teach the whole thing from far away and make people zoom in, but that's not how I do it. So I am going to, just keep plugging along here. And I thought that I was going to go till about 10 o'clock tonight, so another about 15 or 20 minutes. So let's see how far we can get. And you are seeing the whole thing, so you can still see. So outlines, so you can animate individual letters or characters just like you would any other shape. So here I have a basic text layer. This is editable text. To convert a text layer to shapes, so I might say, I often will do, you can animate individual letters or characters just like you would any other shape. So here, so if I say, so here I have a basic text layer. Nobody knows where here is if they're just kind of glancing at the screen. So one thing I do, a little tip if you're a tutorial maker, is I always make the cursor big, so it's easy to see that cursor. If you're just glancing, if you get lost, I always like to have the cursor a good size. And then if I say something like here is something, well, I know what I'm talking about, but they might not be able to see. So I try to make that visible. So if I say here I have a basic text layer, I have a basic text. Now if you see right there, that little annotation, you know exactly, your eye's going to look there. Whether you're paying attention or not, your eyes are going to look there. So I am taking over for your subconscious basically when I make tutorials. I'm trying to guide you without you really having to do any work. So that's the goal. Whether it happens, I can't I can't always say, but I am thinking of you. I'm trying to make it so you're subconsciously learning and effortlessly, if that makes sense. So here I have a basic text layer. This is editable text. To convert a text layer to shapes, all you have to do is select the text layer. You can come up to the top menu, go to Layer, Create Shapes from Text, or just right-click or control. See, so that was a little sloppy, so let me see what I can do. Text, or just, so right there, I gotta fix this. Text, or just, what happened here? Right click. So text, or just right click or control click right on the text layer. So this gets tricky. So you have no idea what I'm talking about, but I know when it gets tricky. Let's see if this I can squeeze it in. I might not. Let's see what I can do. or just right click or control click right on the text layer. No. This is getting hard. This is tricky. So this thing that you're seeing here, that's me tonight. And that little one is me. I can actually hide that. So actually, or control. Let me do this. I still want to hide it. The layer, create shapes from text, or just right click or control click right on the text layer. Go to create, then click on create shapes from text. Okay, so my dilemma, then click on create. My dilemma is I'm moving up and down. This is where it gets very tricky. I'm moving up and down on After Effects. So I'm on the top, then I'm on the bottom, and then the menu items that I'm trying to show are at the very bottom of a very long menu. Like sometimes when you go into software and you have a menu and it's super long, and the menu item is at the very bottom, so on a tutorial you have to scroll to the bottom. It's not convenient from a tutorial maker standpoint. And I'm very conscious about I don't want the screen to be jumping and moving and zooming and going in and out because it's very distracting for people. So I try to make it coherent, but sometimes it gets sloppy, or not sloppy. It gets hard to do. I'm in that moment right now, and I'm probably gonna have to go back and rethink this because I know that right now I'm not liking it. But we'll control click right on the text layer. Go to create, then click on create shapes from text. Okay. Click on create shapes. You see. Let's see if there we go. Click on create shapes from text. The original. So I'm going to zoom in. Actually not. I'm going to do this. Yeah, I knew this was going to be a little tricky for me to try to actually edit and try to explain to you what I'm doing. But I'm going to do my best. The original text layer is still available, but After Effects automatically hides its visibility. And the new shape layers are above, and you can tell it's a shape layer, but okay. The original text. So I'm really talking heavy about this text layer. So basically, I'm in After Effects right now, and you wouldn't know it by looking at the window, but I'm in a part that if you're using After Effects, it should be visibly familiar that I'm in the timeline, and and it's the only thing that I'm really talking about, so I can focus on this area, which means I can blow it up so it's easy to view. So that's my logic. The original text layer is still available, but text layer. So I might see how this looks if I do this. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Let me see if this works. This might be too much. So we'll see. The original text layer is still available, but After Effects automatically hides its visibility. This might work. we're going to let it roll for a minute. And the new shape layers are above, and you can tell it's a shape layer by the little star icon. You will also see in the layer name that After Effects added outlines indicating, yeah, that's no good. Let me see. That the text layer has been converted to shape outlines. And if you twirl, and if you're just joining and you're wondering why this person doing a live stream is not talking, open the, because I'm editing. And if you twirl open the new shape layer, you will see contents. I'm going to twirl that. This is a very difficult situation I'm in. Oops. There's no question. I'm in a chess match now. And only obsessive people like myself will understand what I'm talking about, but I'm definitely in a delicate, it's funny, you said the word delicate, now I've said it like 3 times. And if you twirl open the new shape layer, you will see contents. I'm going to twirl that. Let's see if this works. See. I might try this little trick. And if you twirl open the new shape layer, you will see contents. I'm going to twirl that open, and now you will see the individual characters. It spells out Mike Murphy, you can see here. And the power of converting the text to shape layers is now you can control the individual letters. So you can independently control each letter. You control the strokes, the fills, you can animate each character independently. So if, alright. Any questions anybody has about anything, even if it's kind of unrelated, I'm always happy to jump in. If I select the shape layer on the top, you can see it's going to see. So now I have to blow this up. So independently. So if I select the shape layer, so what I'm trying to do here, like I do everything, is if they're looking at this, you know, right here at this, what I'm discussing, I want them to be able to look and also see what the result is of clicking that without them having to move their eyes around the screen. So this is trickery on my part in terms of chopping up the screen a little bit. And I won't do it for long because I don't want them to lose track of where they are in the overall program, because if they're new. But I'm trying to illustrate a point, and by keeping them very close in proximity of the visual, you don't have to work hard. You don't have to move your eyes and get all confused. That's how people get frustrated. Independently. So if I select the shape layer on the top, you can see it's going to select the entire group. But with the contents open, I can just click on any of the individual. See, I have to be careful because I'm talking about things that are out of screen, and I can't do that for long. So what I often do is I'll see how far I go, and I just resize until I get to that point. So what I'm going to do is go back. So if in the beginning it looked good to me, but as I move my cursor down the screen, I don't want to lose and I'm going to make that bigger so it's even like it's cleaner. So independently. So if I select the shape layer on the top, you can see it's going to select the exact same point that I'm doing where they're not having to move. But you'll see this next part. I'll move it down just a little bit. If you're making tutorials or if you're doing, creating content for YouTube, and you never want to put things close to the edges, the bottom, the edges, because people's screen, the UI, the little stuff gets in the way. So if you really have something that has to be at the very top of the screen in your editing, give yourself a little bit of a margin, or else you're going to end up getting in the way of things, because you can't really count on people going full screen. So if I select the shape layer on the top, you can see it's going to select the entire group. But with the contents open, I can just click on any of the individual layers, and now I can select them independently. Pretty cool. Let's say that you want to change the color of this first M. Okay, so let's see if I can go back. I think I just screwed that up. Let me see. Let's see. Independently. Pretty cool. Let's say that you want... I don't know what just happened, but that wasn't what I wanted. So let's try to fix it. Okay. I have a feeling this is going to be tricky, but... Oh, come on. Screenflow, what are you doing to me? I don't know why it's doing that to me. Let's see here. Yeah, for whatever reason, I'm going to have to close it down and save it again. I don't know why it's doing this to me. It must be freaking out with the live stream. Bear with me. You probably don't even know. I apologize if it's a little tricky following along here. I think it's harder. Well, let me say this. I think it's as hard as I thought it might be to follow along with me editing. And no, that's not working. What's going on? Just twirl open the letter. Okay. I don't know what was going on there, but change the color of this first M. All you have to do is twirl open the letter. I'll twirl open fill. You'll see it's currently set to orange. I can click on the color swatch to pick a new color, or use the eyedropper tool, select a new color. I'll do the same thing for the stroke. First, I'm going to check this box to turn. Okay. And we're going to see here. I'm going to try something a little bit different. On visibility. Let's do this. Color. I'll do the same thing for the stroke. First, I'm going to check this box to turn on visibility for the stroke. You see the default is this black. I'm going to twirl open the stroke property. I'm going to click on the eyedropper tool, change the stroke color. We're going to come down here to the stroke width and just so if you are a Screenflow user watching this, if you're watching the replay, if you're here live and you aren't watching Screenflow and not sure what's going on, ask, or sorry if it's like not the program that you want to learn. But one of the things that I'm doing right now, so in the previous tutorial section, like I'm basically just going down my timeline and editing what I think is going to be the cohesive tutorial from start to finish. I'm a little bit mentally, I'm a little concerned. I know there's a few things that I'm probably going to have to go back and make sure or tweak a little bit. But I was really zoomed in close, and this is After Effects. So I'm really zoomed into the timeline, and I'm really zoomed into the composition window. So if you were sort of new to After Effects, I run the risk that you don't know exactly what I'm, really what parts of After Effects you're supposed to be using. It should be okay. It should be safe, but one of the tricks, or one of the safeguards, if maybe is a better way to say it, is when I go to the next one. So I really zoom back out, and it might be hard to see because let me move me out of the way here. So this is me tonight. That's me with a weird face below. This is that underneath is the webcam. Oh, let's see here. I'm gonna move this off. I feel like I should move this webcam because I feel like it's super distracting. So this that you're seeing right now is so this part of the tutorial is what I'm showing in Screenflow. Super confusing, I realize. This is After Effects, but I'm in Screenflow right now. And I'm zoomed out so you can see all of After Effects. So the next section, so I spent a little bit of time really zoomed in on the timeline of After Effects because I wanted people to really, it was detailed, but I wanted people to be able to see, if you're on a phone watching a tutorial, you can't see anything. And I know because I watch tons of tutorial, right? Well, if you were to, if you were watching a tutorial, like it gets distracting if I'm talking about something really detailed and you can't see it. You're going to be like, I can't even see it. So I'm zoomed in close, but I also don't want people to be confused about where are we in the whole grand scheme of the program. Like I need to find my way around this program. So I make sure that I spend enough time zoomed out to where they know where they are in the program. In this case, it's Adobe After Effects. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, I have this feeling that hopefully I'm on the main camera, but we'll see. Let me do this. And I said earlier, my camera broke. My DSLR camera broke, so I'm using a webcam tonight. So I'm feeling like there's technical difficulties going on tonight. But what are you gonna do? Okay, so I'm gonna zoom back out to get back to my timeline. And if you're confused, I'm doubly as confused, going back and forth between Screenflow, live streaming, and trying to explain what the heck my crazy mind is coming up with. My mad world. So those are all the windows. Video editing is insane, isn't it? I keep mine so simple too. If I was like a, like the filmmakers that you see on YouTube, they have crazy timelines. I keep mine easy. I'm trying to make space, and that's After Effects or Screenflow is being super cranky on me tonight. Okay, so yeah, so I have been zoomed in close, and now I'm going to zoom back out so people know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to use a little zoom in feature so I can still get detailed, but people know where they are in the program. Box to turn on visibility for the stroke. You see the default is this black. I'm going to twirl open the stroke property. I'm going to click on the eyedropper tool, change the stroke color. I'm going to come down here to the stroke width and just increase that until I get it the way I want. Perfect. And if you want to animate each individual character or shape, just twirl open the transform property. You'll have all the familiar properties here, plus you even have the ability to animate. Oops. Oh, come on. Screenflow is really being a jerk. Come on. Individual character. Screenflow, what are you doing to me? There you go. Perfect. And if you want to animate each individual character or shape, just twirl open the transform property. So, if you want to animate each individual character or shape, just twirl open the transform. So when I say that, I want the thing to greet me. Individual character or shape, just twirl open the transform property. You'll have all the familiar properties here, plus you even... Okay, so there was my little transform property. You'll have all the familiar properties here, plus you even have the ability to animate the skew. And that is how to convert text into shape layers in Adobe After Effects CC 2022. My name is Mike Murphy. Cheers. My name is Mike Murphy. Cheers. All right. Well, that is that was the end of my Screenflow edit, which I can tell right now that I'm going to have to polish a few parts of it, because it was I know in my head that there's parts that are incoherent or they didn't flow the way that I definitely like them to. And sometimes tutorials that I make, the UI or the software of what I'm teaching is just perfect. Like the cursor is in the perfect place to where it's easy to teach. Other times I'm going back and forth and I'm moving around and I'm doing different things on the screen. If you cover if you're doing screencasting tutorials and you're covering, wide parts of the whole screen, it's very difficult to try to stay in a focused or a zoomed in state to where you can make it easy for the viewers to see, while also capturing everything. So the more movement and the more places you have to cover in a tutorial, the harder it is to kind of show it or present it. But that's the challenge that I like. I mean, that's where the creativity and the problem solving comes in, and that's where I like to play. I get, as a problem solver, you get frustrated when things are not working easily, or you don't get frustrated, but you get like, you know, you get that challenge mode going. But when you solve it, that's where the satisfaction comes. And that's, to me, the name of the game. It can frustrate you because you want it to be easy, or you want to just be done with it, or you've already put in a ton of time and you're saying, I just want this to, you know, I just want it to be good and I want it to be done. And then you get faced with a challenge, and then Screenflow crashes, and then your camera breaks or something happens, or whatever the case may be. But then when you solve whatever that obstacle or that problem is, then you look back and like, well, that was kind of cool that I was able to fix. It seemed impossible, or I didn't know how I was going to do that. And that's kind of the story of my content creation, is running into problems, or running into, you know, some tutorials are effortless for me. They just, I think of a topic, it flows, my words come out first time, or everything is just easy. And then other times, not so much. And I can tell by tonight's quick edit what I just did live. It's a little hard doing it live because I'm trying to explain and do it. I could tell when I go into Screenflow, when I go through this, even though I'm kind of done, I know that I'm not. If that makes sense, because I know myself, and I know that I did not get it. I know there's parts that I don't like, and I do realize I have a gap. But hi folks, it's Mike Murphy, and today's quick tip is in Adobe After Effects CC 2022. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create shapes from text. This will convert your text into shape outlines, so you can animate individual letters or characters just like you would any other shape. So here I have a basic text layer. This is editable text. To convert a text layer to shapes, all you have... I can tell you that the popping on the mic is killing me, and the tutorial, but that's the self-critic. To do is select the text layer. You can come up to the top menu, go to Layer, Create Shapes from Text, or just right click or Control. And if you're wondering what you're doing, you're watching, we're previewing the window that you see, the visible window. That is this right here, the inside this light area is what a viewer would see on YouTube. Control click right on the text layer, go to Create, then click on Create Shapes from Text. The original text layer is still available, but After Effects automatically hides its visibility. And the new shape layers are above, and you can tell it's a shape layer by the little star icon. You will also see in the layer name that After Effects added outlines, indicating that the text layer has been converted to shape outlines. And if you twirl open the new shape layer, you will see contents. I'm going to twirl that open, and now you will see the individual characters. It spells out Mike Murphy, you can see here. And the power of converting the text to shape layers is now you can control the individual letters. So you can independently control each letter. You control the strokes, the fills, you can animate each character independently. So if I select the shape layer on the top, you can see it's going to select the entire group. But with the contents open, I can just click on any of the individual layers, and now I can select them independently. Pretty cool. Let's say that you want to change the color of this first M. All you have to do is twirl open the letter. I'll twirl open Fill. You'll see it's currently set to orange. I can click on the color swatch. I have a little problem here. Let me just zoom this out a little bit. I gotta fix something.
The color swatch.
And if you stick around long enough, you realize that I'm incredibly the littlest things get me. I'm picky about the littlest things. So I talk about the color picker, and it's off screen, and it really doesn't matter all that much. Unless you're a crazy person. Like me. So I'm going to just make it visible. And this is trickery. This is Screenflow Trickery 101. I say trickery because when I first started, I had no idea. I didn't think this way, but now I think anything's possible.
Orange. I can click on the color swatch.
So when I click on the color swatch, I don't want it like that. You see that little black thing in the corner? That's ugly. So now it's all about timing.
On the color swatch to pick. On the color swatch to pick a new color. Or use on the color swatch to pick a new color.
So right when it goes there, I want the thing gone.
On the color swatch to pick a new color.
So I don't want to see that remnant. So now I'm going to delete the rest of it. There's a little remnant over there, but it could look like it's just going off screen.
On the color swatch to pick a new color. Or use the eyedropper tool. Select a new color. On the color swatch to pick a new color.
And if this video comes out in a week or so about shape layers, well, you can just skip it because you've already seen it. Or you know the answer. You know the solution. This is getting a little overboard. I don't need to do this, but I'm going to anyways.
On the color swatch to pick a new color. Or use the eye.
So I'm going to do this.
Swatch to pick a new color. Or use the eyedropper tool. Select a new color. I'll do the same thing for the stroke. First, I'm going to check this box to turn on visibility for the stroke. You see the default is this black. I'm going to twirl open the stroke property. I'm going to click on the eyedropper tool. Change the stroke color. I'm going to come down here to the stroke width and just increase that until I get it the way I want. Perfect. And if you want to animate each individual character or shape, just twirl open the transform property. You'll have all the familiar properties here, plus you even have the ability to animate the skew. And that is how to convert text into shape layers in Adobe After Effects CC 2022. My name is Mike Murphy. Cheers.
That is a behind the scenes of how I edit a tutorial. That tutorial is exactly 3 minutes long. I said in the beginning, I shoot for under 3 minutes. 2 to 3 is my sweet spot. And I'll probably even go through one more time to make sure that everything I said, I wasn't in that mode because I was kind of trying to do a little bit of both. But I will basically go through each tutorial, and if there's a section, I don't think there's much in here that doesn't need to stay. But if there's something that's extra, that's not necessary, or if I duplicated, if I said something twice that is redundant or overlaps something that just makes it maybe more confusing, then it's gone. So if my video is 3 minutes when I'm done recording, chances are it's going to be more like 2.5 minutes when I'm done editing. But I'm also, while I'm recording, I'm sort of self-editing as well. So I'm I'm fairly efficient when I'm recording because I'm just going to keep doing retakes until I like the sound of that last bit. But even sometimes when I think that I like it, when I go back and edit, I realize, oh, that's not necessary, or you don't need to say that. So it depends. But oftentimes the edit, I usually cut out at least 15 to 20 seconds. It depends. Tonight's not looking like there's that much, but I'm at the 3-minute mark. So so I don't have to cut much. There's no law that says I have to be under 3 minutes, but that's just sort of my thing. So anyways, I thank you all for joining me who joined live tonight. If you're watching the replay, hopefully you have some idea what the heck I was talking about tonight. I know it was confusing going in and out of programs, and but yeah, it's basically editing in Screenflow live, or kind of the way that I typically do it. Next Monday, I will not be doing a live stream. I'm going to post an update on in the community tab, which is where I typically do things. I'm going to be traveling. It might be 2 Mondays in a row where I'm not doing it. I could do it from the road, but I'm not going to be able to do it next Monday for sure. So no live stream next Monday, but I will have tutorials coming out, one tomorrow, and I'm always available. If you have questions, comments, please leave them. I love hearing from you. I love getting questions. If there's a tutorial that you want me to make, if you're, don't think that I have enough tutorials on a certain program or something, or you're stuck and you don't know how to do something, shoot me a comment, or reach out to me on one of the social channels or through my website. There's a contact page, so by all means you can reach out and ask me anything. So I thank you for joining. I thank you if you're watching the replay. I am going to sign off for tonight. Won't be back next Monday, maybe the Monday after. I'm not sure the date right now. It's possible the following Monday. And I'll be back with my camera was broken this week, so I'm on this second camera, which hopefully it came out. I'm getting mixed signals on my end. It looks a little funky. My face looks like it's swollen, and on some, but I'm looking at others, it looks okay. So I have no idea. So it's okay with me as long as you can hear me. I'm good with a technical glitch, and hopefully Canon gets my camera back this week. And yeah, so I hope everybody has a great week. Happy Memorial Day for those who celebrate Memorial Day, and hope you really have a great productive week, and everything is going well, and I will see you next time. Cheers.